Rwanda Television.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm so thrilled to be here.
Before we proceed with the discussion, tell us, what is IEEE?
IEEE is the world's largest professional technical society. We have almost 430,000 members all over the world in over 190 countries. We focus on things like technical standards. Our most famous standard is Wi-Fi, so Wi-Fi comes from IEEE. We also focus on education, continuing education for professional engineers and technologists, as well as educating students and teachers. We focus on membership development, so helping professional development and job skill development. And we publish 1/3 of the world's literature in the fields of interest. Our fields span everything from bioengineering to sustainable energy to computer design and electrical power. So we have hundreds of areas that we're focused on. It's an amazing organization full of very smart and very dedicated people all over the world.
You're the third women president of IEEE in more than 100 years of the organization existence. And you'll be speaking at the Smart Africa Women Summit. Tell us more, what's the outlook of women and technology?
Interestingly enough, over the last, say, 4, maybe 5 decades, the percentage of women in technology has really not changed very much. It's somewhere between 10 and 20%. I think what is different now that gives me hope is that people are talking about the gender divide. We're able to express the need for more women to participate in the sciences and math and technology. Studies show that if you have diversity amongst the board members of your company will be more profitable. It will develop better products that address the needs of your consumers. So the outlook, I think, is positive because we are talking about it more. We're reaching girls at a much younger age, whereas if we wait until they're in the university to try and attract them, I think that's too late. We're starting with things such as toys for girls that have ribbons and spools, and you can make little machines. My niece has one and she loves it. So I think bringing that awareness at younger ages, plus talking about the issues, is meaning that we have a very bright future, and I think it's going to change in the next, say, 10 years.
During the summit, you'll be talking about how you can engage or empower women, the next generation of female technologists. How are you doing this? How are you building these efforts, especially on the African continent? Because the African continent has been, in particular, lagging behind when it comes to engineering. So what are the efforts being invested?
IEEE has 3 areas that we're focusing on to help Africa in the engineering and hard sciences and those disciplines. The first area we're focusing on is education and workforce development. So we will be bringing all of the most modern technology and the most current thinking on new technologies such as ICT and energy to be able to train the engineers better and bring new engineers on board and help them transition into jobs that will, of course, boost the economy. So that's the first thing we're looking at, is education and workforce development. The second that we're looking at is increasing the number of IEEE members in the communities that we have here, because we cannot just come to Africa and leave some materials behind and then expect it to be sustainable. The local engineers need to help each other and support each other through IEEE membership in communities, continue to talk about the challenges and help each other to learn. So that's the second thing we're focusing on, is building IEEE member communities. And finally, the third thing that we're focusing on is engaging with global public policy and with policymakers here in Rwanda and throughout the continent. Because we know that policymakers decide where to invest certain funds. And if Africa has the Agenda 2063 to be able to become ICT focused and driven by the digital economy, it's important that policymakers understand, what is a digital economy? What is the Internet of Things? What do we need to do in order to help our workforce, the young people in particular, enter these fields to be able to improve that area of the continent? So those are the things that we're here to focus on.
I understand IEEE has African strategy. Among those countries that it is targeting, Rwanda is also among them. And if I can quote the phrase in your African strategy, it says that Rwanda's vision says, Rwanda lags behind in professional training with the most acute deficiency. So what are you bringing on the table when it comes to Rwanda? How are you going to empower our Rwandans, and especially women in Rwanda, to get engaged in and to get specialized in engineering?
So we will do several things. One of them is to engage with the universities. For instance, yesterday morning I was at the University of Rwanda at the Science and Technology College, talking with students, many of whom were young women, encouraging them to continue their studies, to be able to learn from the material that we have. We have course material that we offer universities. One example is to teach students how to create standards and how to implement international standards so that they can quickly build a product or quickly build communication systems. So we want to educate people. And in Rwanda, I read a study that says there are about 6,000 engineers right now, 6,000 to 8,000, when there are at least 20,000 needed. So if we are helping with our curriculum, with our material, with our stories of how to become an engineer, then I think that will directly benefit Rwanda and help the students then grow into engineers and into the profession.
So what are your expectations of this year's Transform Africa Summit?
First of all, I'm learning so much. So for me to be able to learn these things, what the challenges are in Africa, the goals for becoming more widespread ICT, building capacity, those things that I learn and then IEEE in turn can be able to support the continent. That's one thing. The other thing I really hope to accomplish is when I address the Smart Africa Women's Summit, I want to impart a sense of pride in ourselves as women, the things that we can do in Rwanda, in the African continent, and indeed across the world. Because we as women build bridges. We don't build walls. We respect each other. We don't care what your religion is or what country you come from. And we have a sense of nurturing and solving problems. We like to create things. So if my address can inspire people in the audience to either continue in the field of engineering or to start in the sciences as women, that would be great. The other part is so that the men can appreciate the challenges that we face and they can support us. Because I think oftentimes our male counterparts don't realize how difficult it can be when you are the only woman in the room or you don't have a support network. And if they welcome you and include you, then they will help to solve the problem as well. So those are kinds of the things that I hope I can impart.
Yeah, well, Rwanda is positioning itself to be the next ICT or technology hub in Africa. Do you think this is an ambitious target or it's achievable?
I think it's very achievable. I do. I'm an optimist, of course, but I think it's achievable in that I've seen firsthand, for instance, a small home. We went to the Akagera National Park the other day, and they showed us how every once in a while you'll see a small home with a solar panel on the roof. And the solar panel is used for electricity to generate light as well as charge your smartphone. And so one of my colleagues showed me how mobile banking works in Rwanda. And I'm like, wow, this is incredible. You don't need massive wires coming to your home. These homes don't have water, running water, but yet the people can do mobile banking. So I think the idea of a whole digital economy and transforming Rwanda is very, very achievable. And I think it's already happening.
Thank you very much. Do you have an parting word?
I just want to say this is my first visit to the African continent, and I am so impressed with the ambition of the African people, as well as your warm welcome and recognizing everybody. It's a phenomenal experience, and I know I will come back.
As you're going back to the US, and what impression are you taking about Rwanda and the continent as a whole, as regards to ICT and technology and engineering in particular?
I think the overall goal of transforming Africa, jumping from the previous state all the way to what's it called, Africa 4.0, or the digital revolution. To be able to leapfrog that way is incredibly inspiring. And to take that back to the US and say there is an entire continent of people who are bravely saying we can do this, we can overcome and jump way ahead and come into modern kinds of things that other countries experience is truly inspirational. And I think that's the message I'll take back, is that, and I will say, if you have the opportunity to come and see it firsthand, you'll appreciate what's happening in the continent so much more.
Thank you very much for visiting our studios, Mrs. Karen.
Thank you so much.
Reka ryo uri bukore amakuru ntabwo nshobora gusoza.